Monday nights. That's right. It's the catchiest title. I know it's the catchiest title of a show ever. Just insert. So, hello, welcome to the show. I'm joined today by my two co-hosts, Nathan Prescott. Hi, Nath.
Hello. How's it going?
Oh, great. Thank you. How's it going for you?
I'm just going to roll the dice and tell you.
Oh, yeah, go on, please do.
I've rolled a 6! Woo! It's going great.
James, how are you?
Yeah, good. Well, no, don't know. Hang on. Here's a dice. 4. I'm average. A bit better than average, but okay.
I don't even have a dice to hand. That's the nightmare situation.
I'll roll for you, Rob. I'll roll for you.
Okay, please do.
You're a 5?
Oh, right.
Always a 5.
Oh, fucking 5.
I remember one game there, he just rolled 5 all the time, and it was for that mammoth. Remember that?
That was one of the worst games of my life.
When it used to have that table.
I painted up.
Never did any damage. But it won
8th edition. Me and Nathan played his Black Hawks versus my War Mammoth. Got my War Mammoth in his Black Hawks. I was like, I'm gonna fucking stomp on him now. Yeah. And what did it do? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Because there's basically it had like a D6 chart. And everything did loads of damage unless I rolled a 5. And for 3 combats, I rolled a 5. And Nathan was chuckling to himself like he does. Anyway, it's the worst. I'm glad I rolled a 5 there. I've got my own dice now. Here we go. A 5. Shit. Shit. Oh, Scott B.
I knew it.
Thanks for subscribing. I saw you earlier, Scott B. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Brad Glover, James Powell, the propagation, the first brain squig, who I think is now officially a 40k player. Is that correct?
He's always been a 40k player, I think.
4DK. Good evening, everyone. Mark Meermouse, good evening. Welcome to the show. Right, well, if you have joined us live, thanks very much. If you are listening to the podcast, please stay hydrated. And as always, thank you to everyone else on Wargamer Patreon. Couldn't do it without you. So, James, how have you been since I spoke to you like one day ago?
Yeah, pretty good. Can't complain. Living life in lockdown. Painted some more custodes. Been trying to learn some custodes rules. Been trying really hard not to buy a load of Forge World models. Now that's a thing again. Do you know, it's weird, isn't it? So, do you know what? I'm going to tell this story. So, like, I've been painting some custodes. That's good fun. I've got this like that garish glitter paint that's just incredible. But I'd forgot playing AOS for so long, like how few Forge World models exist.
There are few, very few. For Age of Sigmar, but for 40k, loads.
For Sigmar. Yeah, 100. So I think like the last Forge World model I brought was a Keeper of Secrets. And before that, a Dread Saurian. And that's it. And then I was like, oh, what can I buy for custodes? Let's nose. And it's like, oh, here's this £300 plane. Haven't brought that yet. Did look at it, though.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a huge mistake. Buy some dreadnoughts. Buy some tanks. But we meant to talk Age of Sigmar. We'll do that in a sec. So I say thank you to McLeod for subscribing. Again, you're a legend. Good evening to Diadrin. Chris, who said, are we dodging the Sylvanas sub-factions? We definitely are. Like, just atrocious. And big shout out to everyone who joined us live. K-Dread, Serbator. K-Dread, I missed you today. And then Jabs, thanks for subscribing. Nathan, how have you been? What have you been up to in the past week? I've missed you.
I've been just same old, scraping by. Not done any hobby at all, because nobody seems to be doing. Well, I mean, not played any games, so that doesn't happen anymore, does it? I've been tried to be persuaded by some people to play War Master, so I've been looking at those rules.
Really? Who's been trying to... What can you explain to everyone at home what War Master is? And most importantly, probably to me.
War Master is 10 mil models, so it's the tiny little ones.
10 mil models?
Yeah, and...
what is this? What is this, a model game for ants?
Yeah. and it's on square bases.
Oh!
And it's got like a weird rule set, which is quite interesting.
I'm not
I
into
feel
any
like
of
that's
what
a game Scrivo would play.
Yeah, yeah. It's like what the hell is this? Or maybe Nikos has got an entire War Master army just for some reason. Yeah,
Probably.
This
I
makes
was looking at Albion because you can take giants in Albion, so it's quite fun.
Okay. Are you tempted to play it or not really?
Semi-tempted. I mean, I don't get a chance to play this game, so I don't know where I'd find a chance to play that game.
Oh, I think soon, Nathan, you might be able to drive over and we might be able to play at the office. Soon enough, which will be great. Okay, well, that's interesting. Anything else you've been up to this week? And Twitch chat, anything else you've been up to this week? I'd like to hear about it before we get started with the show.
No, at the moment, I'm back to painting the Gobbapalooza. So this is Scaremonger. There he is.
Oh, I was very excited to see you doing some painting. What percentage are you on the painting at this stage?
So this Scaremonger, I would say, is he's probably about 63.2% done, as you can see.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. I'll just put a little bit of dab of paint on these mushrooms.
Well, I just finished painting 20 blue horrors today, so I was very excited about that. There they are on the screen. Yeah. And I have been able to play some games of Tabletop Simulator Warhammer this week. And me and James, as well as Tom, in conjunction with Adam this weekend, did a day of coverage on Saturday of a Tabletop Simulator tournament, which was a good old laugh. So I feel like I'm very on the Age of Sigmar pulse this week, which is how I hope to feel most weeks, to be honest. But very much in the zone. James, did you pick that up from the weekend? How did you feel about it? Did you catch any, Nath?
No.
Yeah, I think the weekend was weird for me. So I think I even said at the weekend, like Tabletop Simulator, I don't think it's for me. Like I don't get the enjoyment out of it I get out of like physically rolling dice. But it was cool. It was cool to kind of like sit and chat and talk Warhammer all day. And I think it was really cool. So all the events that I've kind of covered with the show, it was really cool to do an event where there was like a really broad spectrum of people from all around the world playing. Like, you know, top shout out to all those kind of Australians that got up at 4 a.m. to play.
I know,
so
right?
I think it was interesting. Like when we look through the lists and you're looking through them and you're like, oh, that's like a weird pick. And then you watch someone play and you're like, oh, that's cool. I wonder why they brought that. And then you're like, oh, they're from Finland. That's cool. Maybe that's more close to the meta. So yeah, I think like it was interesting to kind of get back into hobby a bit and talk hobby all day. But also really interesting to see how like a load of people were taking it from all over the world.
Yeah, it was actually really interesting. Also, just if I know so today's subject is we're going to talk about Legion of Chaos Ascendant. I see my man Bill Sousa is online, and if Bill, if you are free to talk Legion of the Chaos Ascendant with us, I'd love you to jump in the chat. So drop me a quick message if you can, and you've got Skype, and we'll get him straight on the call because us three are going to talk about it. Because I've been inspired by the some of the army lists that we saw this weekend, specifically the Legion of Chaos Ascendant list, which I thought was gangster. And when I said it to you, Nathan, we were going to talk about this today. You said,
"What's that again?"
And I think if someone's saying that, yeah, then we probably should have a big old conversation about it, because when we do the review show, sometimes, you know, we tend to talk about something and it's part of a whole book because it's found in the Wrath of the Ever-Chosen book. So it's found in the Wrath of the Ever-Chosen book, but it's one of several allegiances that are available inside. Big up Marcus, thanks for subscribing. So we would have probably covered it for 10, maybe 15 minutes on the show, but I think it's worth talking about for the whole show. So that's going to be the subject for today, because I was super impressed by it the weekend. James, what did you think?
Yeah, mind blown. And I think Bill, you said Bill's in chat, right?
He was in chat. He might not be free. He's got kids and stuff.
Because
And I
there was
was
that
gonna
hilarious point. Oh, carry on.
go on. You keep going.
Oh, there was just that kind of hilarious kind of things where like Bill's name was all over the board. Bill got wrote about. The spawn was called Bill. It was important, I think. It was an important part of the weekend stream for someone not playing.
It is really important. And so if he's in there, I'd love him to come and chat with us. But I don't think he's free, or he might not be free. But I'm going to harass him right now.
The Chaos Ascendant made their mark at this tournament.
They did. They didn't win the event. But what was exciting for me was, and in fact we saw them win 2 games eventually. But what we didn't. What it did was it made me go away and do that thing where you write a ton of lists. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
And then you just get like super hype, and then also you ask it. Also, like I was like, oh, actually, there's loads more to this, and it's such an exciting entry. And it's also someone brought it up today. It might be the very best way to get someone over from 40k into AOS if they already have a load of 40k demons, because it's all around the demon keyword. So I just thought it'd be super fun to talk about it. K-Dread, what about the trees? We're just not talking about the trees. They just suck. The Sylvaneth we didn't want to talk about Sylvaneth. Unless, Nath, do you want to talk about Sylvaneth?
No, we can talk about demons. There's
sure?
another day. Yeah. We'll have another day to talk about trees.
Sorry,
sticks.
Trees and sticks. We could maybe talk about them after the GHB. Hopefully helps out. All right, well, I came third with it the first time. The TTS tournament list writing is super fun. So Mark's talking about the Legion of Chaos Ascendant. So that's what we're going to talk about today. That's the point of the show. There isn't any news from around the world, apart from the Tabletop Simulator tournament that we did coverage of this weekend with 30 players. Seraphon took out the event again. So that's the only real news that we have in Age of Sigmar terms. We still haven't seen if there's any more Lumineth Realm Lords coming out, and of course we already talked about the Lumineth Realm Lords last week, didn't we? So nothing since nothing since last week. So we just got to suck it up. No news, but maybe no news is good news. Thoughts?
Maybe, although I did see somebody put up a picture from the White Dwarf saying something about some gits in the next month's White Dwarf.
What?
So kind of interested to see what that might be. Something about squigs or gits or something.
Yeah, some squigs. So maybe we'll see some new battalions or some sort of sub-faction rules for gits in the White Dwarf, which will be very thrilling. But again, we don't know what that's going to be. We still haven't seen the Lumineth come out. And it seems like it's 40k week as well. There's a big reveal this weekend, and Games Workshop talking about all that big 40k. It's a special show, but it's not going to be for us Age of Sigmar bros. So we're just going to have to suck it up and talk about something else. But honestly, I think this conversation we have today about the Legion of Chaos Ascendant is like I've discovered a new Battletoad. Honestly, I think I maybe glossed over it a lot more than I should have in the review shows. And now I'm just all about it. It's like got me by the short and curlies. Well,
I seem to remember actually when we did do the review show. Well, I've now remembered a little bit more. It's coming back to me slowly, but I thought you were fairly interested in it when we did talk about it. And hasn't Darren done some lists with them?
Maybe not with Ascendant. I can't remember if that's the case. I did remember talking about doing Blood Crushers and doing my Zinch and then moving into Chaos Ascendant. But I don't think we've like borne down into it as much as we could have, and so I think we should do that today.
So, cool. So you've seen some new potential in these guys.
Oh yeah.
He saw that he can use one of his models.
Oh yeah. On this.
There's some models he spent some money on that have been rubbish for ages in a really bad army, and now he knows he can use them again.
Okay. That's not true. That's not the why.
But it helps, right?
That helps. That really does help. Yeah, absolutely. It also just helps that. Go on.
Let me roll a dice. I rolled a 1. You're lying.
Damn it!
Perception check. 3. Yeah, I can't perceive anything, so it's fine. Carry on.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. So let's just dive straight in, because there being no news and we're all just doing some. Nate's doing some painting and James is fed up of painting. I think we're just going to crack on today, which is I'm very hype about. So the Legion of Chaos Ascendant is, like as stated about, it's an allegiance ability specifically found inside the Wrath of the Everchosen. So you blink and you miss it. It's 2 pages, and then there are 4 battalions. So I'm
going to read the story to you because it's great.
Do it. You do it, or I could do it in the funny voice.
Would you like to do it in the funny voice?
Do it, James. Do it.
Okay.
Do it, James. Do it, James.
Woe betide all things, be they living or dead. When the dark gods set aside their ancient hatreds and unleash the full might of their demonic hordes upon reality, the ground twists and the skies burn before the advance of the Legion of Chaos Ascendant, a force of utter desolation united under the 8-fold mark of ruin. There you go.
There you go. There you
My
go.
best storyteller voice.
There you go. Cool. So these are the guys united by Dewberry, or they're just demoned?
All demons.
Yeah.
Just demons. So I'll read the actual rule to help everyone. I got excited. When you are choosing a Chaos army, you can decide if it is Legion of Chaos Ascendant army and has the Legion of Chaos Ascendant allegiance instead of another allegiance. If you do so, all units in your army gain the Chaos Ascendant keyword. A Legion of Chaos Ascendant army can only include units that have the Chaos Demon keyword.
Yes, so that's the important part. We'll do it one more time, Bill. We'll do it again. Bill's going to do the follow-up, and he's going to review our show. Depending on how angry I make people. Okay. Join us then.
Yeah.
And again, I'd like to apologise to everyone in the chat, obviously, about not doing the Silver Death sub-factions. At this point, I think it'll be a fun thing every Monday to ask if we can do the Silver Death sub-factions. And we...
No.
So the important part here is that Nabrooks, thanks for subscribing. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, by the way. Dude Our Day, fucking love you. So if all you need is the Chaos word and the Demon keyword, and this opens up a whole ton of options, and honestly might be even more exciting to build army lists than it is building Cities of Sigmar armies. Because it's any demon keyword, and there are some funky demons. Obviously, you've got Archeon, you've got all the big Lords of Chain, all the greater demons. You do have the Kadai from the Chaos Dwarves. You have all of the lesser demons that you find from all the sub-factions. You've got the Vermin Lords that you find from the Skaven. And then you've got a couple of like ridiculous Forge World models like Skarak Bloodborne, is a model who I had basically put in the bin for all intents and purposes, even though I own him. In fact, he's not even in the cupboard anymore. Fuck knows where I've actually
Isn't
put
he
him.
a really ugly model?
It's gorgeous. He's gorgeous. How dare you? Bobby
Is he the one with
Hall's...
the shield?
Yes, and the 2 big
he's
claws. He looks great.
Wouldn't sleep with him. Nah, wouldn't sleep with him.
Oh, wow. You're missing out on some fun.
Cool.
He does look nice in the dead pile.
Hold on. Skarak might not have the demon keyword. He might be a monster. He might be a Korgorath. I might be wrong. Hold on. I was getting too excited. Skarak. Let me just go find out if he's got the demon keyword. Because if he doesn't, I'll be so sad. Oh, I checked. Oh, he doesn't have it. Oh, well, what's the point in being here? Okay. All right. Well,
Should
that
we go
doesn't
home?
work. Yeah.
Shall we go
Oh,
home?
wait. I'm already there.
Can I just see if the Hell Cannon has the demon keyword? Yeah, smashed it. Hell Cannon has the demon keyword. If people let you use the Hell Cannon event, that's got the demon keyword, so that can be included in the army. Right. So anyway, there's a load of models and we're going to go through most of them in the show today. So strap in. But we'll talk about the special rules that you can get before you do that. So if you are if you are a Legion of Chaos Ascendant army, your battle trait is that you basically your whole army gets a 6+ DPR. You don't, so basically a death save, some of you might call it, or a feel no pain, or whatever it might be, a 6+ save, and you don't need to be near a general or a hero or anything. You just 6+ on everyone, which is great. Like your 12 wound Vermin Lord has got an additional 6+. That's great. Your Archeon's got a 6+. That's great. Your Lord of Change has got a 6+. That's great. Your 30 Plague Bearers or Demonettes have got a 6+. That's great. So it's awesome. It's just awesome. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I didn't know Scarek didn't have the demon keyword. Also, Bobby Halls over on YouTube says, "What are Flamers of Tzeentch like in AOS?" Nathan, do you want to cover that?
They're pretty tasty, you could say. Yeah, they're pretty hot stuff.
They are hot stuff.
They do tend to shoot shit quite a lot.
Really well.
Yeah.
Really well.
You see them burning stuff, like shooting stuff down, fairly regularly.
Yeah, really good. They're really good. They really are quite popular. Giving them a bit of extra save is really decent. So they're good. Yeah, you can find the allegiance in the Wrath of the Everchosen. FYI, Kelbar in the chat says, "I'm late to the show. What books would I need to run Legion of the Chaos Ascendant if I was starting Chaos from scratch?" Well, you need the Wrath of the Everchosen book, and then probably just the app, the Warhammer Age of Sigmar app, because that's what's cool is you don't need to know any of the other rules, and all of the War Scrolls are free in not Battlescribe, sorry, in the Warhammer Age of Sigmar app. So you just need one book and the app, so it's pretty decent.
Well, and the General's Handbook for playing the scenarios.
Yeah.
And the cool rule book.
Well, that weird little new book.
Yeah, the weird little new book. And also, if you're playing with some Ender spells, maybe the Ender spell book. But that's in the app as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and the spells are in the... But if you buy the spells, you get the book, so... Yeah. So I hope that helps Bobby Halls. Bobby Halls also just bought 16 Flamers of Tzeentch, he says, so that's good. Bobby No Mates is what you're going to be called. So anyway, that 6+ DPR is awesome, obviously.
Is a good time.
Yeah, he is. Now this is the one that
time, but a good time.
Yeah, so this is the ability that we saw to great effect. Kelshan, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, this is the ability we used this weekend to great effect. Is the Unyielding Legions, and at the end of your movement phase, you can pick one friendly Chaos Ascendant demon hero that is on the battlefield. You roll 3d6. If you get a 10 or more, you can summon a unit, but it's based on the unit's keyword. So if you've got a Khorne hero who's attempting to do it, you can summon 10 Bloodletters. If you have a Nurgle hero, 10 Plague Bearers. But the one that we saw used scarily this weekend, was obviously... Oh no, did the stream die? Hold on. Yeah, it did a bit. Sorry. The one that we saw used so well this weekend was the Tzeentch, and then summoning a unit of Pink Horrors, right? That was genuinely scary.
Because Pink Horrors are obviously heads and shoulders above the other dudes are in for points, aren't they, really?
Yeah. For free, I think, like, they bring something to the table that none of the others do.
Yeah. It doesn't look... I mean... Would any of the others have an ability that the Pink Horrors, that are better than what the Pink Horrors bring to the table?
No, I still think it's that weird thing. So
sorry, Carol.
No, you guys go.
I was just thinking it's that weird thing, like when you look at this, because it's the same as the Gaunt Summoners. Like, so 10 Bloodletters is about 100 points, 10 Plague Bearers is about 100 points, 10 Demonettes is 100 points, 10 Horrors is 200 points. So I don't know why you'd ever opt for 100 points when you can have 200 for free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the other things, what are Plague Bearers for? They have to be tanky, but 10 Pink Horrors are tankier.
Yeah. They're also only good in a 20, I think, Plague Bearers.
Demonettes, fast and stabby, but, I mean, Pink Horrors still do more damage than them, probably.
Yeah, better shooting.
Yeah. Same, and even they're probably more fighty than fucking bloodletters as well. So
Yeah. They definitely do more output, but I think the key part is that they're 50 wounds.
yeah,
At bravery 10 as well, which is also like not an indistinguishable thing as well. So they're incredibly good, and we saw someone put 2 units of 10 pink horrors down in a turn, which was just wild, obviously. So it's 100 wounds in 2 turns, which is. But the key part, and as Owen is saying in the chat, you do need to have that survivable Tzeentch hero to be able to summon the horror. So if you did want to game it a little bit, but even if you didn't, even if you took no Tzeentch characters, although I'm not sure why you wouldn't, if you're building competitively, but you can look at the Legion of Chaos Ascendant, I think, in one of 2 ways. You've seen the obvious power that we saw this weekend, and some of the stuff that I've been thinking of recently, and ever since I got a hold of it, I was like, oh my god. So there's all of that, but then there's also just the fun of the farm. You could just have a contorted epitome, yeah, and just banging out 10 demonettes a turn it is foobarred beyond all recognition. Not working at all. I know.
The internet's not great anywhere at the minute. That's why I'm upstairs.
What is it broken? Or
yeah, so I think just because of the amount of people using it, and they can't keep up with repairs and maintenance, and so as internet keeps going down, people keep jumping onto mobiles, and then that kills that signal too.
Well, it's I would describe it. It's almost not podcast listeners. I'm sorry that you got to listen to this as per, but this is a shit show at this stage. Just wait for it to come back or not. Oh, such a shame. Such a shame. Anyway, you guys okay? Doing much?
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
Yeah, just
chilling.
Putting a little bit of paint on Spiker while I'm waiting for Scaremonger to dry a bit.
Are you sure we're not still live? Because people are talking in chat.
Well, it's. I think it's back now. It's back now. Anyway, okay. So yes. So the 2 abilities that you get for Legion of Chaos Ascendant on paper, when you read it out, you're like, yeah, it's okay. But actually, when you play it in the game, when you see it happening, when you see 20 pink horrors go down in 2 turns, and especially if you did a Gaunt Summoner, so if you paid for a Gaunt Summoner in your list, you're putting 10 pink horrors down. So there's a really big chance that you're going to put 20 pink horrors down from one character turn 1, which is 100 wounds for just being a part of this army.
For no points. Well, for the points of the Gorn Summoner, but the Gorn Summoner is pretty useful dude on his own, isn't he, really?
Yeah, exactly. So those 2 core abilities are wicked. So you can either build a really fun list where you're summoning up some bloodletters or some demonettes and having a laugh, or you can build a really shitty list where you're putting loads of pink horrors down. But that 6+ DPR is huge anyway. James, do you want to take us through the command traits? I think you've got them, right?
Yep, I have right in front of me. So your command traits are under the Scions of the
sorry,
Ruinous Powers.
James, can we just stop one moment? Because we've got a celebrity watching live, Joseph Urban. I fucking love that guy. I met Joseph Urban in Bugman's maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Just a great guy. Just want to say that
there you go.
Now. But please continue.
Great guy, great list. Oh,
great.
Not today.
Yeah.
Sorry, walking, always the one on disc. It's 20 points for all that extra movement. Yeah. So the command traits, so they can only go to Chaos Ascendant Demon Hero Generals. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Oh well. So obviously, whatever you add into this kind of sub-faction gains that Chaos Ascendant as the keyword. So the first one, Primordial Commander. This demonic general has fought for the Dark Gods since time immemorial. So basically, if you pick this general to summon a sect of demons for the Undying Legion's battle trait, add 1 to the roll. What? Sorry, I haven't read them. I'm just reading them now. So you only have to roll a 9.
Yeah, Primordial Commander.
That one's amazing.
That is an amazing command trait. Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, so the other one's good too, right? I forgot that one.
Oh no!
Surrounds this warlord.
Oh,
Don't worry,
Well,
James.
you'll have to say that one again, James, because I missed it. Earth James. Come in.
Radio check.
Come in,
Radio
James.
check. We hello. Radio.
Radio.
Are you just winding me up? I have no idea.
No, it's not working at all.
I've got no idea what you're saying. James, come in. James, are you there?
Oh my god! Can we get a Twitch chat? Can we get a clap for the internet, please? It's not ours. Me and Nathan can talk to each other. Nath, let's fire some rapid fire questions. Favorite color?
Purple. Green.
Favorite sexual position? Favorite sexual position?
Can you hear me now?
Last time you had all your hair, Nathan.
1987.
James, it's working. Do a talk.
Cool. Can you hear me? Great. There we go. We're just moving
Sit in the
house.
fridge. You'll be fine.
Cool. So, the next one, Ruinous Aura. So an aura of potent unreality surrounds this warlord. So that allows you to add 1 to rolls for the Infernal Realm Walker's battle trait made by Chaos Ascendant Demon units wholly within 8 inches of this general. So that's basically the 6 up DPR save. So
they get a 5 up DPR.
Yeah, you can make it a 5
What's
up.
the range? Sorry again.
Wholly
within 8.
Wholly within 8. It's pretty huge. So we saw it used to great effect this weekend, obviously. So used on a unit of Kadai Fireborn. So those 5 up ethereal with a 5 up DPR, obviously massive. But imagine Nath 5
That's
up.
cheating.
Yeah, that fires. So now you've got that 300 wounds with a 5 up DPR is just wild. So you can see why you would go for the Ruinous Aura over the Primordial Commander trait. So but it's just it's genuinely I'd say it's a toss up. To be honest, but they're both really strong.
Yeah, they're both good.
Then the last one. Go on, Nathan. You got any thoughts?
No. Carry on. The last one. I bet that's bent as well.
It's not. Infernal Charge.
Okay.
You can reroll charge rolls made from friendly Chaos Ascendant Demon units wholly within 12 inches. It's pretty crap.
Yeah, it depends on your army. I mean, if you're doing your Bloodcrusher list, I guess it's not bad. The one where you want to charge.
Yes, it would be really good if you were operating that.
But it's all situational, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it relies more on your list. Whereas the other ones are very good, more obvious.
Yeah, way more obvious. Absolutely. Yeah, they the other two are super strong, and you can see why you would want to add the +1 to that 5 up save all the time. I mean, if you took a bunch of demon heroes, so let's say you had Archeon, and let's say you had, even if it was just a Bloodthirster that this guy was on, you give in the Bloodthirster and Archeon, if they just fly together, a 5 up DPR save on top. So they're in a great position.
On top of all their other stuff.
Yeah. So it's honestly just brilliant. And when you actually start to think about it, initially you think Plague Bearers, right? 30 Plague Bearers, which I think when we did the review show, it was 5s and 5s.
What was that noise?
What's that noise? James, are you there?
Oh, hey. Yeah, so I'm cameraless because I've changed to my actual better computer. So you'll have to do without seeing my face this week, but at least I can chat.
But you look gorgeous.
Thanks.
It's paused in a really great way.
Excellent. That's what I want to hear. You just leave me there. That's fine.
So the command traits are all great, but obviously Ruinous Aura or Primordial Commander. So, it's good. But also, again, as talked about, you could just have some fun with it, or you could build something really silly. That 5 up save on just a bunch of characters, on everything around it, makes your army a third more survivable, which is super interesting because most of the demon characters or units, I mean, think of that on the Contorted Epitome, right? That's what I keep thinking about. He's got a 2 up save against mortal wounds, yeah? And then a 5+ DPR on top, right?
Yeah, he's not taking mortal wounds, is he?
No, and if you
No.
want to deal with Croak a little bit, you could stick him in front of Croak, I think, and do some stuff with it, which I think would be really fun. But yeah, so it's great. Anyway, James, have
Yeah.
you got the artifacts of power?
Yes, and now I actually work. So, the artifacts of power, gifts to the devoted, obviously only goes to Chaos Ascendant demon heroes only. So the first one, the fourfold blade. This blade is imbued with the power of the Chaos Pantheon. So you pick one of the bearer's melee weapons. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with that weapon is a 5+, the attack inflicts D3 mortal wounds on the target, and the attack sequence ends. So you obviously stop there.
But that's really good. And we saw this put on a Vermin Lord Corruptor at the weekend because he's got 10 attacks. So any 5+s do D3 mortal wounds, which is pretty brilliant. If the unmodified hit roll, and it's a hit roll as well, so 10 attacks on 5+s, you should be getting like 3d3 mortal wounds through, which is awesome.
That's pretty tasty, yeah.
Yeah, like, Mere Mouse in the chat says, "Oh, Mabdir, thanks for donating 300 bits. The fourfold blade is naughty." So there's some fans of the fourfold blade in the chat. Also, you can do some cool model conversions of the fourfold blade. Some sort of like, I don't know, Kroll style thing. The next one, the Armor of the Pact, is you can reroll save rolls for attacks made with the melee weapons that target the bearer. Reroll save rolls for attacks made with melee weapons that target the bearer.
So you got a rerollable save in melee.
Yeah.
That's tasty, isn't it?
That's good. With potentially with a 5+ ignore on top.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Saint Skin banner. Subtract 1 from the bravery characteristic of enemy units while they're within 9 inches of the bearer. That one obviously sucks.
The one that you don't take.
Yeah. And also, Owen's pointing out that the Vermin Lord Corruptor has his own command ability, which allows him to re-roll his own hits. So you're more likely to get those mortal wounds through,
Right.
and it's reroll hits on the Vermin Lord Corruptor, not just reroll failed hits. So you basically
so you can fish for those 5-ups in big time, can't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really, really good. Really, really good. Thanks for pointing that out. And 6s also do a mortal wound on the War Scroll for the Corruptor. So, again, 10 attacks, D3 plus 1 mortal wounds, re-roll into hit. The Corruptor's definitely a target for having this on. Absolutely. But sometimes, you can get a little bit carried away on focusing on something. Maybe you just want to have an armor of the pact. You want to have reroll saves on something. Again, if you want to have a fun bloodthirster who's got a 5+ save and a rerollable save in combat, that's fun, right? That's a cool thing to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Might actually make them half decent.
Probably not, though. Probably not, yeah.
And they're cord, so you're making the wrong decision.
All day, forever. They're the worst. Do you want to tell us about the spell lore, James?
Yeah. So I won't read you the boring bits. So Bolt of Ruin. It says casting value is 7. If it goes off, you pick one enemy unit within 18 inches of the caster and is visible to them, and you roll a dice. If it's lower than the number of models in that unit, they take D3 mortal wounds.
Which is good, right? D3 mortal wounds.
Right.
It's fine. It's fine.
What's the range? Sorry again.
So any enemy unit within 18 and that you can see.
It's all right. It's not special, but it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a slightly better arcane bolt, right?
Yeah.
You've got Echo of Hatred. So another casting value of 7. If you cast it, you pick one friendly Chaos Ascendant demon unit wholly within 12 inches of the caster and visible to them. So until the end of the battle round, if a model from that unit is slain by an attack made with a melee weapon, the model can fight before it is removed from play.
Yeah, that's a really strong spell.
So I didn't realise. So at the weekend we were talking about it being like Death Frenzy, but they can't pile in, can they? So they can just attack.
Mm.
So it was super good on the Kadai, but might be worse on a different unit.
Oh, yeah, because the Kadai have got the 3-inch reach, have they, on their weapons?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 3-inch range on their attack. So again, that makes sense why you've seen those. But it still would work on a whole bunch of other units that are demons, right? Like, if you wanted to do it on some blood crushers, like you said, Nathan, put them on some reroll charges, sling them in, do their impact hits, do the mortal wounds, and then they get attacked back in close combat, and then it's a second swing, right? Because if you do it right, you activate and then you die and then you activate again, so you get 2 uses out of the unit. Is that right?
Yeah. But and also it's a useful tool if you having to fight against stuff that will make your always strikes last, or has an always strikes first rule, because it means you're still going to get a chance to swing with your dudes. So you might have to sacrifice them, but at least they'll take the bastards with them.
Yes.
Good plan.
This is the correct plan. Yeah. No, fuck me. No, fuck you. Yeah. Right. That's
yeah. No, fuck all of us. Let's go.
I'm gonna charge. You'll die. That's my whole plan. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Nothing will be left.
I'm gonna kill you. Good. Do it. And then everybody dies. Happy days.
And then you've got the Spirit Gorge.
Castle
Castle 7 is successfully cast. Pick an enemy unit within 12 of the caster, and they're visible to them. If that unit has the death keyword, you can reroll hit and wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by friendly Chaos Ascendant demon units that target that unit until your next hero phase.
So only targets death.
Yes.
Okay. That's very situational spell.
Yeah.
You probably won't take that one.
No, not at all.
Not unless you're expecting to always be fighting OBR or something. But I think, it's too situational, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's super situational and really weird, but it's still cool. Anyway.
And it's the point of that one, because and I haven't read the book, but the lore in the book's about them going and fighting Nagash, right?
Say that again.
Is that right? The lore in the book is about them fighting Nagash?
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess it's still linked to that, isn't it? I guess.
So it's a narrative spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they've somewhere got access to the whole spell lore, then fair enough. It's nice to have that one in your bag of tricks, isn't it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, you don't need it necessarily, but it's interesting.
But if you're limited for spells, then it's probably one that you won't be taking. You take some of the other ones. So,
just based on that, because that's basically everything apart from 4 battalions, and you are able to take Bellacor's subfaction, which is a subfaction of the Legion of Chaos Ascendant, which we'll talk about in a bit. And thanks to Owen for pointing it out. But that's the kind of core element of this, and already you can see how it could be so much fun. You could build it really efficiently, like we've talked about. The Corruptor's a good shout, the Kadai a good shout. It's like some stuff we've seen at the weekend. But Flamers in here just seem really fun, as per, because Flamers are just good at the end. But making them more survivable, I think, is great. Giving them more of a screen, I think, is great. Again, you could do some really fun stuff with the other units in Chaos, so we'll go through those in a moment. I mean, even the Contorted Epitome has got, I think, that seems like one to me that's like a big shout, because its War Scroll is good.
Yeah.
So you just think, because he's got 9 attacks base with his Ravaging Claws, 3s, 4s, rend 1, D3 damage. So that's got that ability to have a lot of attacks if you wanted the 4-fold blade, and his movement 12 for some reason. So just make him more outputty than a Bloodthirster, which would be super fun.
Except for that Bloodthirster that he runs into.
Yeah, who he kills.
Yeah.
Jonathan Atlan said, I played versus Flamers. I'm going to be honest, it wasn't very fun. It was not. It was not very fun at all. In any way, shape, or form for him. James, have you got the battalions?
Yeah, so the Host of Rage, the Host of Corruption, Host of the Arcane, Host of the Depraved. Those are the ones you want. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So the Host of Rage we'll do first, which is the Khorne-centered one. Is 2 to 3 Chaos Ascendant Khorne Demon heroes and 8 Chaos Ascendant Bloodletter units. And it costs 160 points, and it lets you reroll charge rolls for friendly units from this battalion. And that's it.
Well, that one sucks.
Yeah.
So, but is good, as Owen said in the chat, for Blood Crushers. Because they have the Bloodletter keyword. I think that's right. So 160 points, reroll charges. So if you want to have a really fun... and obviously, if you take the Blood Crusher hero, I think you can take the Blood Crusher's battle line. I still think that works in Legion of Chaos Ascendant. So you can do some fun stuff there. But you can have Khorne, and you can have magic. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me you don't love that. You know, you can stick in any old wizard in there.
I don't love
that. Why don't you love that?
Because I don't like the sound of it. It just sounds like I might get my dick kicked in.
Khorne and Cogs.
Khorne
injection.
Khorne and Cogs. Yeah, and rerolling charges and smashing the hell out of you when they charge you.
Also means you'd be able to make like a little kamikaze character with a 4-fold blade, and you'd still be able to take the armor of Pact. So being able to like re-roll your saves, because you've obviously got a battalion, you got that extra CP, and you're going to be able to have those bonus charge rolls, which is it's great. It's cool. The Host of Corruption is 2 to 3 Chaos Ascendant Nurgle Demon heroes. And they get the ability, the Plague.
So you need seven loads of Plague Bearers, and you get Plague Smear Blades for 180 points. That's the one, right?
Yes.
So if that's stuff on that battalion. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with a melee weapon by a friendly unit from this battalion is a 6, add 1 to the damage inflicted by the attack.
So that does force your army build a bit, though, doesn't it? Because that's 7 units, did you say?
Yeah, so the other one was 8 Bloodletter units. This is 7 units of Plague Bearers, basically.
So we should, let me just make sure I've got this right. We might have a guest joining us. Bill, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you great. Can you hear me?
There you go. We can hear you. Thanks for joining us live. Appreciate that loads. Oh my God, you look great. That's a great little shot.
Managing to survive the quarantine.
So everyone, this is Mr. Bill Sousa, who is I've been a fan of for a long time. You may have known him as Ghoul King Bill. But first off, how are you? Are you well? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I'm good. Trying to do like everybody else, I said, and just survive the isolation. And TTS has been a big part of that.
Have you enjoyed being able to just without having to build and paint models, just being able to copy paste units into the board?
Yeah, well, I've been really smart about it. So I built the entire armies that I've been playing on TTS. So no, it hasn't saved me any time whatsoever.
So you've just been using it to practice, basically, with armies you have?
Yeah, I mean, I have been, playing with folks that I don't get to, but once a year or even less. So, I'll bust out some fun stuff for that. But, yeah, I've been doing some practicing, when and if tournaments happen again.
Good. So so in case people don't know, Bill is a member of the Age of Sigmar American ETC team, who you guys came second last year, is that right?
Yeah, second in 2019. We were looking forward to our first place in 2020, and then unfortunately got canceled.
Some big talk. Absolutely.
Well, the event's canceled, so I can do that now.
Weren't me and you getting our first place this year, Rob?
We were actually going to get our first place this year, James. You're right. We were going as Team UN. Most people don't know that, but it's fine. Yeah.
So, there's always next year.
Exactly. So we talked about this a little bit offline, so I'm super happy you've come on to talk about it on the show. Because when we did talk about this on the review show, as I was saying earlier, I don't think we glossed over it. I have been talking about it a bit, but I think it's definitely got some legs. And the list that we saw running at the weekend was the list that you were going to take to the ETC this year. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it was one that we had in consideration. But first and foremost, it had Kadai, so it was absolutely mandatory that we at least gave it a shot for the team. Because that's usually my first barrier to entry is that Kadai are involved.
Oh, really? Are you a big fan of the unit?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the Kadai. Mostly because I was dumb enough to buy 12, so, I find every chance I can to use them.
Hey, buddy.
They're well worth their points, aren't they? Really?
Yeah, hey, the last 3 are basically free.
Yeah, and there's not many units that have a 3-inch reach, which has got some incredible on-board mechanic, like on-table activation that people don't really see. That you do a charge, then you pile in 3, and then you activate in 3, and they're like, "Oh no, I was not expecting that." And even one of them's got the potential to whip out a character if you roll well. It's my problem with always been with them is that they're very unreliable. You could get them into a really good position, and then you activate them. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'd like to hear from you because I know you've not got much time. So, Legion of Chaos.
No, you're right. They are super swingy. So that was actually a big part of me. Originally, I had 30 Plague Bearers in my battle line. I changed to Demonettes. Number one, because they're fast. And the second part is it puts me 30 points down. And the only thing that can make Kadai even better than they already are is a Triumph if you roll the right one. So that definitely helps them. Re-rolling saves or hits or wounds or whatever you can get on them.
Yeah, the reroll saves is really big. So, how did you approach the Legion of Chaos Ascendant list, or what is it in here or what units have you not stuck into the list that you like? What units do you like? What other units do you want to see in lists? Do you think?
Well, I'm basically playing it because I like mixed armies to begin with. I like Grand Alliance stuff. So when I saw this, it's basically a Grand Alliance Chaos that just has really silly rules that make it even better. So that's really what stuck out to me. But similar to a note that you hit on at the beginning of the stream was just the options. Very similar to Cities of Sigmar. You can build 60 different lists and still have options to go. So that's always super fun.
It is, and it also means that you can make a very adaptable army as well. Like if something changes, like I think we're seeing with Croak or the Seraphon in general that. Characters surviving into the mid to late game is actually going to be quite an issue for a lot of people playing at home. So, this army has the ability to give characters that don't normally have abnormal wounds, like Kairos, give him a 5-up save against that, which is just phenomenal. Like, you would pay a certain amount of points to get that as an artifact in an army. So, the fact that it's on all of your demon heroes is wild.
Yeah, and with Croak rolling around, it's tough to have armies that rely on magic. So, a lot of those lists for Chaos Ascendant, the magic is nice, but at the core of it, you can summon, 10 horrors a turn. And it's kind of tough to take that away. You can't deny that. It just kind of happens as long as you roll it. And same with the 5-up save. I mean, that just anything where you don't need any dice rolls for it to happen. And that's a big part of the reason why I like Kadai in that army is, they're just inherently good. And anything else you put on them is just a bonus.
Yeah, what are the units in Chaos do you like to go into this Legion of Chaos Ascendant army? What have you toyed with before? I really like the idea of a Deceiver. I feel like a Deceiver's got some legs.
Deceiver's a lot. I mean, all the Vermin Lords in general, they have that 5-up save on the scroll, and then you get them within range, and they're a 5-up after save. The Warp Seer with the reroll saves, you put an Ethereal Amulet on him, so 3-up rerolling, 5-up, 5-up. I mean, just extremely durable.
Yeah, super survivable. And there's obviously big boy Kairos in the list because he brings a lot to the party, right?
Oh, he's just super fun. He's great. He's a good tool against Croak, just because you can, if you roll a 6 on that cast, it's really hard to stop it, even with that board-wide Dispel. And just that 6-flat mortal wound is huge for 2 reasons. So one, it can kill characters pretty easily, of course, but the other is it making a chaos spawn. If you can get that within 3 inches of some weaker units, you can really tie up a whole army pretty easily if you can put that spawn in a position and not die.
Yeah, I used to use the spawn creator that you could make from the one of the Zangor Shaman spells, maybe?
Yep.
Was the ability to do that. And putting that into shooting units was particularly decent as well. Just popping off one wound to put them in. Or even into those Mortek Guard, because they're quite good. They might kill a spawn, but it's nice to lock in something if you can. Which I think is...
Most of the time they die, but it's funny when they don't.
Yeah, it's really good. Do you rate any... Go on, Nate, sorry.
So I always think it's really good to put them into screens, because screens are there to... It then turns the screen against your enemy, because then it locks them in, sort of.
Yeah, if they have no flying units behind it, or Motrek Guard being tied up on the end of the unit so they can't go anywhere.
Yeah, pinning them in is just the most fun you can ever have. So it's really, really good. Any other? I'm just interested in all the units that you've permeated through that you've thought about and think that would be fun inside of this army.
I mean, even the Legion of the First Prince brings up a lot of good options too, because anything with that Bloodletter, Horror, Plague Bearer keyword, so even drones and skull cannons. I mean, you can do some pretty fun stuff with that, just bringing models back. And I think I saw someone in chat mention Double Death Frenzy on them. I mean, there's just so many options you can do. But I mean, I've made lists with skull cannons. When's the last time anybody's done that? It's just super fun.
I mean, one group of people definitely love doing it for 1 week, and then after that,
sure,
not at all. But I think
for reasons that I won't go into, I own several as well.
Oh
dear, completely. Yeah, so the Legion of the First Prince, the abilities for this, we'll quickly talk about it. You've got the command ability Shadow Legion. You can use the command ability once per turn at the end of the battle shock phase. If Bellicourt is your general and on the battlefield, if you do so, you roll a dice for each friendly unit that is either a Bloodletter, Plague Bearer, or Demonettes or Horrors on the battlefield. On 3+, you can return D3 slain models, which is obviously incredible inside Horrors. Like summoning 10 Horrors and then returning D3 is obviously great. Does that D3 apply to... It only applies to those 4 units, right? Nothing else. Just those 4.
Yeah, but it's the keyword. So again, if you have plague drones, they have the Plague Bearer keyword, or skull cannons, they have the Bloodletter keyword. So you can bring those models back as well. And it is, I believe, you roll for every unit, and it's on a 3-up. So yeah, you can bring multiple models back to multiple units.
Oh, that's wild.
That's tasty. Yeah.
Nath, do you remember early days Age of Sigmar? Plague drones were the fucking worst. You just see 12 plague drones, you're like, I guess I'm just going to watch them sit on an objective for my entire life.
Yeah, so now you roll that 1 to bring back, a model, and then you can bring back D3 more.
Can you do that on Slanesh chariots as well? Is that true?
I'm not sure if they have the Demonette keyword.
I'm going to double
check.
But
the big downside to that list is you have to make Bellicourt the general to do it, so you lose out on your 5++ aura. But it's funny.
I think it's good. Apparently, by the way, chariots do have it. This is the thing. I think it needed exploring a little more. I would have assumed that they were key locked to the units, but as you've pointed out, they're keywords for units. So Plague Bearer is on a Plague Drone War Scroll. So bringing back D3 of those is just an awful experience for anyone. To be honest, if you've ever had to punch through them. That's well powerful. That's great. The 5+. Are you dead set that the 5+ is the one, and not having the +1 to roll the 10 up to get 10 unit 10 pink horrors?
I mean, with the list that I've played, I like the 5-up better. It's just if you're playing against an Alpha Strike army, it's handy, especially if you're screening with your Kadai. I mean, they could take a hit from almost anything. But it really depends on what kind of list you're playing. I mean, you could do, of course, if you're going a really trolly army with a bunch of Gaunt Summoners or something, then you could go with that 9-up.
I do like the idea of putting 4 or 5 Gaunt Summoners down. James, this is, or not that many maybe, but James, this is right up your street, right? Because you've ran 3 before. 3. Which is, I remember, with how many Marauders did you take with the 3?
80, I think, was the end list. I think it was 80 Marauders, 3 Gaunt Summoners, 2 pointless here. A Chaos Sorcerer, a Chaos Sorcerer, and a Chaos Sorcerer Lord on Manticore in the end, in Ravagers.
Did you ever finish a game?
Marauders belong in every list, so.
Did I? Yeah, I think I with that list, I finished 2 games at events, and every game, in a friendly.
That's
So
not
it's
bad.
it's 80 marauders and then 10 extra marauders a turn. So that's the bit that ruins people. Is no one ever gets that marauder thing right. So it's that I'm bringing 10 marauders on, and unless I roll a double one, they're charging you.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's pretty. Marauders are also incredible. I love the idea, and Be'lakor. You can't argue with having Be'lakor as a piece as well. Like you could also include Be'lakor, and you could include the Changeling, and you can really start to fuck about with people. It's all available inside this army. I mean, the Changeling's a pretty survivable unit if you wanted to like hide it away until you wanted to do something with it, right? So I think you could do some great stuff there. We were going to go through some of the units as we went through these. Do you like any of the battalions, Bill?
I haven't used them yet. They seem pretty tax heavy. Again, I'm just a huge fan of running like Grand Alliance armies and stuff like that in general. So I try to stay low on the taxes just to bring as much of the cool stuff that I want in it.
And I suppose. Well, so the two that we haven't talked about yet is the Host Arcane, which is 2 to 3 Chaos Ascendant Tzeentch Demon Heroes, or 9 Chaos, and you get 9 Chaos Ascendant Horrors of Tzeentch units. But so you have to take 9 Horrors of Tzeentch. That's actually quite hard to do, I think. 120 points, but you add 1 to the casting, unbinding, and despoiling rolls for Chaos Ascendant Demon Wizards in this battalion while they're within 9 inches of 2 or more friendly other units, which isn't terrible, but that 9 horror unit is probably impossible to put into actually 2,000 points. Now that I'm reading it out, I've just realised.
Yeah, you'd probably have to do brimstones maybe, or blues.
Yeah, which kind of is, I don't know, that doesn't feel right. And then you've got the Host of the Depraved, which is 2 to 3 Chaos Ascendant / Demon Heroes, 6 Chaos Ascendant Demonette units, and you add 1 to the wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by friendly units from this battalion if they made a charge move this same turn, which is okay. It's not. You're right, none of them sound great. That one doesn't sound particularly good either.
How much does some brimstones cost?
60 points for 10?
So you could, what's that? 9 times 6. 6 times 9. 9, 8, 27, 36. 450. Yeah, it's not worth it, is it? 400. I was like, could you do it? And then just bring like 1 million pinks on turn 1 anyway? And I was like, oh, no. Also, then if people started killing your pinks, you'd have to have loads of extra brimstones, and that you don't want that in your life.
No, you would have to go and buy them. Yeah,
I think that's the interesting tabletop simulator thing too, right? Like,
yeah, I think it doesn't make much sense to. I like the Hosts of Rage one though. I don't hate the Khorne one. Although 8 units of Bloodletters is also very expensive, so probably. Although I think you can.
Yeah, it is a keyword too, though. So you could take like Skull Cannons, or I think Blood Crushers have that keyword too, right?
Yeah, and you could also with the Demonettes, you could do the Chariots that we talked about before as well. So that would. But the problem is you for the 120 points you're paying for the battalion. Do you get a particularly great second artifact of power? I mean, the reroll armor saves in melee isn't bad at all, but doesn't seem to be anything to shout home about. I mean, if there was some way to get 2 command traits, I'd be all over it like a rash. But that does not exist. Okay. Nath, can you think of any units you would want to include in this army? Or Bill, can you think of any other units that we haven't talked about yet?
I think there's a unit everyone's missed.
Oh, what is it?
Soul Grinders.
Oh my god. Why?
Because they were in my other list.
Say that again, sorry?
They were in my other list.
They're
terrible.
It's
so much fun.
Are you encouraging us to take Soul Grinders?
Yeah, they're terrible and hideous and funny. So if anyone wants to play them, I'll be really impressed.
Well, I'm just looking through some of the Khorne units now, and looking at some of the big demon ones. I don't know if the big dragon has got the demon keyword. No, that's a shame. That would be really funny.
Maserat,
yeah, that'd be fun.
Has got the keywords, but not that one you wanted.
Yes,
the Forgewell Demon Prince, Khorne Demon Prince guy.
Yeah, the guy with the axe and the shield not the 2 claws.
The Butcher, I think, is.
Yeah. What
No.
about the Forge World Vermin Lord?
So he does have it.
Yeah, the Warpnog guys are neat.
And the Warpnor guy's great as well. And also, a Warpnor can teleport himself, and you could do the Warpnor in a Deceiver again if you wanted to jump around the board. You don't have to like to do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, you need the gnaw holes to teleport the Warpnaws, but yeah, you can do the Skitter Leap.
Of course.
Well, yeah, the Skitter Leap from the Deceiver is pretty tasty.
And I mean, 5 damage weapons was not too bad.
Does what's his name not have what the hell's his name? The stupid rat on the other rat.
Oh, Thankful.
Yeah,
Thankful.
Thankful, he doesn't have the demon.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he doesn't, unfortunately. But like things like Roticus does, like have the demon keyword in his spell for doing some throwing some wounds back at Croak. could be a fun thing if you really wanted to. I don't think he brings much else to the yard really. I think the greater demons aren't the best for Nurgle, but it still could be fun to have him at the back of the board. I mean, it works best when you mixing it with the wheel, I think, but I can't see Nurgle having many options here, apart from those plague drones coming back. Multiple plague drones coming back is obnoxious. I'm not going to lie. And there's some of I think one of the named characters have got the demon keyword, have they? No, they're mortals. That's not a shame. And also, I was just thinking if Orgots or Blobe or the Glotkin have the demon keyword, but
No, none of those. They're all humans, aren't
No,
they?
they don't.
No, that's just heartbreaking at this stage. I want to find some other stealth filth that you've missed. But I don't
Soul
think
grinders.
Soul grinder.
Come on, they get D6 mortal wounds on a 6 on a claw attack.
Well, if you get them into a fight, then maybe. I can't see if there's any that we've missed. The Vermin Lords are obviously the better ones. You chose the Vermin Lord Corruptor. We talked about on the show already for your melee character, right? Is that why he's in for the weapon?
Yeah, he has the artifact that does D3 mortal wounds on a 5.
Yeah.
And he has 10 attacks base. And the big thing is his command ability lets you reroll hits, not just missed hits attacks. So you can just fish for those 5s and 6s.
And then just do all those extra mortal wounds on top. I think is good. The Lord of Afflictions and Puskor Blightlords are demons as well, apparently. And also, it would be really fun to have a big brick of them and have Fight on Death. So the Echo of Hatred. How important do you think that spell is in the list? Or what can you see that being used on?
I mean, in my list, I typically use it on Kadai. But I mean, anything, of course, that has puts a lot of damage out, but typically dies pretty quickly. Bloodthirsters is pretty nasty on if you decide to run Bloodthirsters. But to be honest, it hasn't been as useful as I had originally hoped. But the nice thing is it sounds very scary, so a lot of people try to use Dispel on it.
That's good, and then they ignore the other things, I think. I'm looking at the Sinesh characters, and I wonder why there aren't many Sinesh units. Did you not think about taking the Contorted Epitome? It's not a named character, is it? You can give it an artifact, or is that wrong?
I was just too busy spending points on Kadai.
Because, I mean, that 2+ mortal wound save is great about throwing that into Croak, I think. And he also makes wizards reroll their casts, which I think is strong. So if successfully cast,
I could definitely. Really, my only barrier for him is just the 200 points. I think he's 200 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is very good. He is very good. But I mean, usually your big spells, with the exception of the endless spells you can't cast with them, you're trying to get off with a Kairos anyway.
Yes, and obviously you want a Tzeentch demon, or you want a Tzeentch character in the list because you obviously want to put the pink horrors down and just roll those 10+s. I wonder what, there's got to be some. I like the chariot list that we're talking about in the chat. I think having multiple Sineshi chariots doing it, because those things are wild. The volume of impact hits that they do, we've talked about on the show before, doing impact hits, and I think they have natural run and charge as well for themselves. Or retreat and charge, so you could do some horrifying stuff with those. So you could build some really fun lists around those. Have you looked at any of the exalted greater demons from Forge World and thought about giving them the survivability buff? That would be.
No, I haven't, to be honest, but I'll have to obviously start reading some scrolls here shortly.
Well, I haven't looked at them either. I just was like, oh, I've seen the Soul
They're
Grinder
just
though,
so
James.
expensive.
Yeah, the
What?
Slanesh one's rubbish as well now.
What,
Like
Slanesh Soul Grinder?
No, the Slanesh. Sorry, I thought you were on about the Slanesh Greater Demon from Forge World's worse than an actual Keeper of Secrets now.
Yes, which is.
So I don't know about the others because that's the only one I own.
Well, so the Lord of Change, the Exalted Lord of Change, isn't actually. I mean, he's not great compared to the regular Lord of Change, and then Kairos is obviously better again. But he has got 20 wounds with a 4-up save, so you've got that 5-up damage prevention roll on top. Gives him that bonus. He's not in any way a better caster than the other, which is a bit of a shame. But he does have a bit of a better Infernal Gateway, which the other. So normal Infernal Gateway starts on a 3+, but the big Lord of Change, his Infernal Gateway starts on a 2+. So that's where you roll 9 dice, and any 2+s are going to cause a mortal wound. So he's a kind of a horrible gun platform on 20 wounds. But that's really all he does. So he probably doesn't have much more utility. I think it's those little heroes that you could really fuck about with. Be'lakor, Epitome, and the Changeling. You could really just mess with your opponent's mind, I think. But I like the brute force of the demons. I don't really have much else to say.
Yeah,
about it.
you can easily spend like 1,500 points in characters and just base battle line and have fun with that, like pretty easily.
And I think you could have a really fun list, right? But then also, you wrote this list, I think, with the idea of teams in mind, so you didn't want to take most of those key elements out of a team.
Yeah, and it's I kind of view that as a little bit of a take all comers, which in a way is a team list too. So put it out and be able to take on anything. But I mean, it can do fine in GTs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Nath, what are your thoughts? Which demons do you hate normally fighting, and you don't want to see inside this army?
Well, I was thinking Scarbrand's quite interesting if you can give him the extra 5-up DPR, just makes him a bit more survivable, and just means that if you do target him, you're going to wound him, and just make him nastier when he does get there. But he's more likely to get there because of that 5-up. I think Valkyria is quite interesting because she's really fast. Just as a support piece, but again, she's like a mini Bloodthirster, isn't she? But again, she's a special character, so she won't be able to take advantage of some of those rules. But like the using the command abilities and stuff. But as a support piece, she's quite interesting. Gives you a -1 to hit as well, which is nice. Those are the corn ones I was thinking of. I'm not really clued up on the other guys as much. I'd have to have a scan through and see what's what. But yeah,
I like the idea. Go on.
Yeah, I do think Scarbrand is just a scary model. I've played against him a few times, and he does hurt. There are ways that you can try and block him up with endless spells and stuff, but if you can use your other demons, so if you can get some Tzeentch guys in there to make sure the endless spells go away, then then you're not going to be slowing him down much. So.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about the inclusion of Kairos when we saw that Spell Eater ability just shut down, especially against those bound endless spells, so you're not even having to roll it, you just can eat them, take them out. I think that's there's something to be said for that as well. I'd love to be able to get like some anti-wizards in, to get those Hex Gorger Skulls out, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. And that Chaos Demon Rift spell, being able to put that on that Gaunt Summoner and fire that into the opponent is also an awful experience for everyone who's taking part, which is
that's been extremely strong, especially when you combine it with the spell portal and the Warp Lightning Vortex, just having more endless spells out there.
Yeah, and
the
also
Warp Lightning Vortex has been gross. It's just so good.
Yeah, what's your experiences? Tell me about your experiences of the list. Like what has worked well, what hasn't worked well.
So actually, one of the things I've been considering taking out is the Demon Rift. and the reason being is just you have to play fairly conservative with the board position on the Gaunt Summoner. So you really can't. I mean, even though it's a 21-inch threat, you still have to be fairly cautious with how you put him into the middle of things, especially for the hero phase, because you want to summon your horrors off of him. So that's actually been kind of a 50 points that I've been trying to find something else to do. But other than that, the list has been great. I mean, it interacts in every phase, which is what you always want to see in a good list, with the exception of maybe shooting. It doesn't have any shooting, but it just does everything you need. And I mean, when you're creating 50 to 100 wounds a turn, that doesn't hurt either.
I think that's the key. James, we were laughing, weren't we, this weekend, as soon as we saw 2 Star Drakes for 2 turns not even eat 50 pink. Well, not even eat one of those 10 units of 10 pink horrors, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Star Drakes are rubbish, and I still think, like, I know I meant after that game to kind of go and find that player and just be like, why didn't you eat the middle pink horror? Like, you'd have killed so many wounds. But yeah, nuts. Like, just watching those 2 Star Drakes. So what's that, like? Over 1,000 points. Take 2 turns and a bit, I think, to chew through 200 points of pink horrors for them then to be like, oh, here's 10 more.
Yeah,
that's really a lot of what the list does. It's all the other stuff is flashy and great, the Kadai and Kairos and the Vermin Lord, but I mean, if you're just making pinks every turn, you can win almost every game with just that.
Well, I think that's the important part is that you could put. I think that's what excited me about the weekend. As soon as I saw that list, which was a list that you've been running and people have been copying, I was like, there's so many more options. Maybe not better options. That's not what I'm trying to get at. I just mean there's so much there that you could do. Like Blue Scribes is just being talked about in the chat. That's the thing. Changeling, that's the thing. Like if you're looking around those Tzeentch characters, because they've got some tricksy, annoying characters, obviously. But then you go Sinesh and you take their endless spells. The access to endless spells is wild. Deceiver, Vortex, again, awful, like little combination. Like so much fun can be had. Like, and you're right, loads of it's flashy. And anything that revolves around you having to roll a dice to achieve something is normally terrible. But it's still, there's loads of fun elements with this list, and I just want to. I can't stop thinking about lists. I was a bit excited for like 2 days. So thank you for pushing that envelope, I think is what I'm trying to say, because I think I'm not saying it would have passed people by, but I don't think it would have had maybe the notoriety that it should get, especially people who've got some corn armies. Listen, if you've got a corn army and it sucks, stick it in this. It's already loads better as long as you include a Tzeentch wizard. Like, you're laughing. Like, you've got a better army, I would argue. I don't know if you think that's true, but...
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You can build almost any archetype of build with this. I mean, you can do, 4 Vermin Lords. You can do 100 Demonettes. You can do so many different types of builds, and it's all decent. I mean, it's not... You can kind of hang in there with almost anything.
Which I think is... James, is it fired up your imagination for anything, or did it after the weekend?
Yeah, I think... So I think for me it was one of those really interesting ones where, like... I know we talked about it the other day, I think, maybe last week on the show, but we kind of talked about that crazy thing where, like, obviously I'd said a long time ago before any rules leak that I was interested in buying Lumineth just to own and kind of paint the models, and then the rules start to leak and people kind of go crazy, and we kind of get all that stuff. So, like, the Seraphon at the minute's huge, and everyone kind of jumped on that. And I know obviously loads of people had Seraphon, so I think it was easier to jump on. But I think it's really interesting because this... I can't even remember what the book's called, and I own it. Wrath of
Everchosen.
Wrath of the Everchosen kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it? It was like a Monday. Oh, this is coming out on, Saturday. It kind of skipped most people by. Like, I saw it. I'd just been writing all those slaves lists, and I was like, I'm not buying another book. Forget it. But most people have, like, loads of people that have played Warhammer for a long time probably have chunks of this army. And it's really interesting. It was really interesting, and I touched on it earlier, but it was interesting to see kind of how metas from around the world had changed, and how, like, people from a different country had kind of picked out a list and gone, oh, I think this works. Like, I've picked up this book, I've read this book, I've actually paid attention to it. Whereas I think for me, like, a lot of the community that I interact with had kind of gone, oh, it's a narrative book, forget that one. I'm going to buy Seraphon.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that there's loads of people out there who, and this is the other thing as well. I think there's loads of people who have elements of this army, but we'll touch more on that in a minute. Bill's got to go because he's just joined us during his break. So I just want to say massive thanks, Bill, for joining us and dropping the knowledge of this thing that you've been pushing for a while. So you've been awesome, and it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thanks.
No, thank you. I always like the chance to talk about Warhammer, and hopefully I'll see you guys stateside soon. I got to do another beer run with Nathan.
Yeah. Down to the bottle store. Yeah, that was great.
Exactly. No, but thanks for having me, guys. Have a great night, and anytime you want to talk Warhammer, let me know.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
well,
Yeah.
See ya.
See you later. Can we just talk about how great Bill's voice is for a moment? Like,
yeah.
Have you got a man crush?
I've had a man crush for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
that's definitely Bill was pushing Flesh Eater Courts when they didn't have a battle tome. He last year won an event with Marauders, but as mercenaries in a mixed order army, if you could believe it. So the man
Marauders are great.
Marauders are great, but he'll always be the Ghoul King Bill to me. Correctly, probably. I agree with that. That's the man, the myth, the legend. So it's a pleasure having him on the show. Yeah, I feel like we blitzed through some of the units then, so I feel a bit like we rushed it. Do you want to go back and circle to any of those things, or do you reckon that we covered it? I was going to be a bit slower about it, but I'm wondering what you guys think and feel. Twitch chat, you two, co-hosts, we could call it there. I think that was great, but we could also go back and look at some of the units in more detail. It doesn't have to.
So I'm going to bring one up just because as kind of Bill was chatting and I was going through the app, like this probably pre-Cities of Sigmar and the occasions where people like picked up like Mixed Order, or a long time before that Mixed Death. And then someone would randomly find a model and be like, oh, no one's seen this since the 90s. Let's play this.
Yes.
So one model I found on my search through the app that is Chaos and Demon also has the keywords Dragon, Monster, Hero, Wizard, Chaos, Dragon. Is the very old Chaos Dragon with 2 heads.
Oh, okay, yes. What Village? No, it wasn't Village. That's the Curseling. I can't remember what that Chaos Dragon was called at this point.
It's terrible. Like, I sat and read its rules. Like, it's not good. It's got 10 wounds and it's a dragon. And its War Scroll was last updated in June 2018, which is also quite a big thing, I think.
The Hell Cannon. Can we talk about the fact that the Hell Cannon is a Chaos Demon keyword? But sorry, you were talking about the dragon. The dragon's the one.
Pick an enemy in each model in that unit. Oh, so you can make stuff attack, I guess. Yeah, random. It's not very good, but it's funny. Like, I like the idea that I can go and buy like a probably 90s model and add it into an army and make it half decent. But that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's very cool and really quite funny. Galroch, that was it. Galroch.
Yeah,
the Chaos Dragon. Yeah.
Maybe we need to all buy one of those.
Honestly, I feel like this has opened up so much list writing to me at this point, because it feels like almost unbound. Like, you lack a spell lore, but you just bring some endless spells. You bring like the wizard that you want and an endless spell with him on his coattails, and I think you could have a great time. I mean, bringing D3 Plague Bearers back, Plague Drones back a turn is awful. Or Chariots, also awful.
So we're gonna talk about another unit, I think.
Yeah, go for it.
So the Soul Grinder.
Okay, talk to me about the Soul Grinder. Go
I
on.
genuinely think this could be good. Now,
Okay.
No one's going to buy one, but I know if he's still in the chat, Nick Thompson has 3 because I borrowed them.
Yep.
So it's 210 points for a Soul Grinder. It does fill a Behemoth slot, but it's 210 points, right? So it moves a random amount based on its wounds. So it originally moves 12. It's got 16 wounds on a 4-up save for 210 points. So I think that's pretty good.
Yes, agreed.
It shoots, so 16-inch range on its Harvester Cannon, 6 shots at full health, 4 to hits, 3s to wound, -1 damage. so 6 shots. Where it is funny, so it's got a Phlegm Bombardment, 20-inch range, 1 attack, 4 to hit, 3s to wound, -2, 3 flat damage. And then in combat, it's got a whole host of weapons. But what you're actually looking for is its claw. So it's got 2-inch range, 1 attack, 4s to hit, 3s to wound, -2, d6 damage. It's not great.
No.
But it's hilarious.
I don't think it's even hilarious, is it? Although I have fought one before, and that mortal wound on the claw is actually the worst experience.
Yeah, so it does d6 mortal wounds on a 6 to hit. So the joke was, me and Nick Thompson had kind of wrote a list, and I pissed about with it a little bit. So if you put them in Slaves to Darkness, because they can go in that army, and you put them in Slanesh, if you roll a 6 on the hit, it does 2 hits, so it makes it 2d6 mortal wounds. So it became this game of kind of just fishing for good dice rolls, but it was fun. And they are funny models.
They are very funny models. When you take them, everyone thinks you're an idiot. I think that's the key part as well. And also, they shoot. What range is their shooting attack again? 18 inches.
16 and 20, I think. 16 and 20.
And it does d6 damage, doesn't it?
No, so the 20 is 3 flat damage, and the 16 is 1 damage, but 6 shots. The d6 damage is the claw. So you've got to go ham.
But he's still better than a Tree Lord.
Yeah, way better than a Tree Lord. He's probably better than 3 Tree Lords, I reckon.
All right, Nathan and James, to end the show, yeah, now you can use your dice. Nathan, you have 3 Tree Lords. Yeah?
No, hang on. I've moved, haven't I? Let me go get my dice. I'm going to play this game.
Yeah,
hold
James.
1 second.
It's okay, we'll hold on. James is going to run 1 Soul Grinder.
Okay. Let me find the Tree Lord War Scroll.
It's 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, Ren 2, d6 damage. That's it.
So I'm in
And a stomp.
Ascendant, though, so I get a 5-up shrug, right?
What?
I'm in Chaos Ascendant, so I get a 5-up shrug.
Sure, if you want.
Excellent. So who's fighting first? Have I charged?
Well, you got to roll off. Roll for priority.
Roll priority.
2.
5. I give you priority.
Hey!
You start within 12 inches.
Within 12 inches? Well, I can
Yeah.
move that.
No, you just start in combat. You just start in combat.
Okay, so do I get to shoot him too?
Yeah. Shooting phase.
Okay. So, 6 shots from my Harvester Cannon. Hang on. Hit 3. Wounded on 3s. Wounded with 2. So 2 saves at -1, Nathan, on Tree Lord 1.
Okay, so 3-up save becomes a 4-up save. Obviously, I'm in cover, so fuck you. No, okay. So 4-up save. Saved 1, so 1 goes through.
Just 1 damage.
So you
1
got
damage.
Is that a 1 Tree Lord? This is going to take
Yeah.
forever.
I'm going to spit
Strap
on you.
in, everyone.
Go on then, spit on me.
Somehow I've hit. 3s to wound. Oh, I've wound. Okay, so 1 save at -2.
Okay, saved. 5 up.
Get out. Right, my legs. 6 attacks. 4s. Oh, I'm not very good.
Oh wait, do I get to stomp? Yeah, ground shaking stomp.
I
Wait a
haven't hit you.
second.
I'm not done yet.
Is this no? This is combat phase, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, ground shaking stomp.
Ah.
No, failed it. Don't
Okay,
worry,
cool.
carry on.
Okay. So lost the dice. So 2 at -1. I'm not going to kill anything.
Saved 1. 1
So
goes
one-
through.
So
Yeah.
1 damage.
Okay, so I've taken 2.
Here we go. Here's my claw.
You've got it.
4 looking for 6s. Oh, it hits, but it's not a 6. 3s to wound. Wounds. 1 at -2. Come on, don't save this one.
Goes through.
Oh, d6 damage. 2. 2 damage.
4.
Okay, and then my sword, because I'm just going to go for that because it's easier. 4s, 1 hits. 3s, 1 at -2.
Saved.
Oh, okay, that's all my attacks. I don't think I'm going to win.
Well, don't forget, you've got 3 Tree Lords, Nath.
Well, the other 2 are standing back waiting for this guy to finish, and then they'll step in one at a time.
All right.
Because they're very responsible. They're social distancing. So this guy is going to attack with his. So he's taken 4 wounds. So the sweeping blows are 3 attacks now, hitting on 3s. Oops. Oh, those are cocked. Sorry. Finding a flat. Oh no, 1 hit. 1 hit. And 1 to wound. So I know nothing there. Into my turn. Oh wait, I've got impaling talons.
And you got a shooting attack, Nath. You got a shooting attack as well.
Yeah, no, this is the combat phase. His combat phase. I'll get into my turn.
Okay,
so
thanks, Nath.
3s hits. 3s to wound. So yeah, -2 rend.
Oh no! So 6s. Goes through.
And it does 1 damage.
Oh, okay, so 5s. No, I take it. So I'm down a wound. I'm on 15 wounds.
Oh my god, this fight is going to take forever. Next up, the Charybdis is coming in.
Nice. Come on then.
Okay, so your shooting phase.
My shooting phase. So strangle roots, 5 attacks, hitting on 3s at the moment. 1. Fucking hell, these dice are great. Wounding on 3s? No, nothing.
Hey,
oh, wow.
Come on, Soul Grinder.
Into combat, so ground shaking stomp. No, failed that again. But I'll do my sweeping blows.
Go on, Nate, you got it.
3 attacks, all hit this time.
Whoa, they're all going to miss.
All wounds, so 3 at -1.
Oh no, 5s. 2 go through.
So that's... Oh, they're both cocked. 4 damage.
Okay, hang on. 5. 2 go through. Somehow rolling well.
And then impaling talon. Oh, fails to hit. There you go.
Amazing. It's my turn.
Yeah, your combat phase.
Oh, how many wounds have I taken? No, okay, I've still got all of them. So, me legs.
Wait, but Nathan, how could you have survived 2 rounds with a tree lord? How could you have?
I don't know. Right, what do I need to wound? Oh! 3 at -1.
Save 2.
1 damage each.
So I've taken 5 wounds. How many wounds do I start with?
12.
12.
Here we go. Here we go.
Go on.
Looking for a 6. Oh, God's sake, I keep rolling a 5 for this. Okay, so it hits. It wounds. 1 at -2.
Goes through.
Oh, D6 damage. Here comes a 1. Oh, it's a 5.
Oh,
So I've got 2 wounds left.
Oh, hang on,
oh
I've got a
no.
sword.
Nathan, you're
Got a
forgetting
sword.
your stomp. You're forgetting your stomp. You got a
No,
fire.
I've failed them both times.
Oh, heartbreak.
Snake. I actually hit both my swords and one was a 6. I'm going to cry. Right. Wounds. 3s. Oh, 2 at -2.
Saved them both. Double 6.
Ah! Next
Cool.
round.
Priority roll.
Yep.
I've rolled a 1.
2. Yes. In your face. I'm taking it. Right.
Go on then.
My cannon. Oh, my rolling's hot now. Oh, not so hot. 3s. 2 at -1.
Save them both.
Spit on you. Misses. And then I'll hit you, so you get to stomp first.
Yeah, I've rolled it. -1.
You get to fight first, right?
No, it's -1 to your attacks, I think.
No, it's not. It's always strikes last, Nath. You get to go first. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's great. Okay, then.
He says.
Down.
So I have only got 1 sweeping blow left.
Yep.
Is that right? Yep.
Unfortunately.
It hits.
Oh.
Doesn't wound, though. And then impaling talon.
If you hit on a 6, Nath, D6 mortal wounds.
I rolled a 2, so nothing.
Okay, so now I'll hit you. So my legs. Oh my god. Oh, those all hit. Okay, right.
The
Threes.
crappiest battle of all time.
3 at -1.
Oh, you could die.
Yeah, I'll take 2 wounds. I'm dead.
Woo! That's 1 of 3.
That's 1 tree lord down. There is. How many wounds have you taken so far, James?
Only taken 3.
Okay, how many have you got left?
13.
Oh my God, Tree Lord 2. Nathan, socially
Yeah.
distance. Yeah.
Do I get to still keep fighting? Because I've still got attacks.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Okay.
no. The next Tree Lord has to charge in. Full wounds.
So he moves. He's 3 inches away. He charges. Yeah, he rolls it. He gets in. Oh wait, he shoots at you first. Obviously. 5 attacks hitting on.
I'd love to see how many people have
Twos.
stopped watching.
Oh, they're hitting on 2s.
This is
They're
the best
great.
bit. This is honestly
So
the
that's-
best bit of the show.
5. Oh, that's cocked. No, that hits. Great. Wounding on 3s.
Oh.
Come on, get out the way, you little gobos. That is 5 at -1.
Oh no, 5s. I've just rolled 3 6s. I'm just going to put that out there. If 1 goes through.
Cool.
What's the damage?
1 damage.
5
so-
up shrug? No, that goes through. Okay, so take 1.
And then, so now he charges.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
he makes it just on a 3. He doesn't need to roll the ground striking shot because he's going first anyway. So 3 attacks. Is it? No, 4 attacks starts with. So 3s. So that's 3.
You've got it, Nath. You've got it. This is all you.
2 at -1.
Nope, 5s. Both go through.
2d6
so that
damage.
is 4 damage.
Okay.
It's amazing.
I'm down to 9. Dying fast.
And then impaling talon. 3. 2s to wound. Yeah. Wounding on a 2, so -2 rend.
No. 6s. Oh no, damage.
Damage 1.
Okay. Yep, goes through. I'm down to 8.
That's it.
So, so then it's your,
It's your turn. No, it's your turn, James, to attack
Yeah.
in Nathan's turn.
Yeah,
Okay.
Your combat phase. My turn.
Oh, I'm battered now though. Oh, my poor little soul grinder. Oh no, it's not that much worse. Okay, so no shooting. So 4s. 3s. 2 at -1.
Saved 1.
1 damage.
So that's first wound on this guy.
Here's my claw. It hits. Not a bloody 6 though. 1 at -2.
Oh. Goes through.
6 damage. 5 damage.
5 damage. Oh no.
So
we go.
taking 6. Oh, he's going down.
He's already
Four.
half dead. He's already half
Four.
dead.
1 goes through. 3s. 1 at -2.
Saved.
That's my turn.
Cool. So priority again?
Yep.
1 again.
Oh, I got a 1 as well. I went
You-
first.
Yeah, you win.
Right, let's see if I can kill you. So, gonna shoot you. Oh my god. Hit with nothing. Gonna spit on you. 4s. No, hit with nothing. Okay, so you can stomp.
Stomp. Yeah, I stomp you. So I'm going. I've taken 6. So 2 sweeping blows. Oh, double 1.
Welcome to Tree Lords, baby.
And
Amazing.
then impaling talons. Hits. Swooning on 3s now. Wait, 6. Yeah, no, doesn't wound. Roll the
James, it's
so
your
now
time
it's
to
the
shine.
fight, yeah. 5. 4s. 5 attacks. 2 3s. 2 at -1.
Saved 1.
1 damage.
Cool.
Me big leg. Me big claw. Looking for a 6. No. Completely misses. Sword. They both hit though. 3s. 1 at -2.
Goes through.
3 damage.
Ooh, yeah.
You've only got 3 wounds left. Oh, 2 wounds left.
2 wounds left. Cool. So my turn. Shooting.
How many turns of a game have we been through? This is 3 turns it's taken so far.
So I've taken 10 wounds. So this is sitting on 6s. 1 hit. 1 to wound. That fails. Cool. So melee. 1 attack with the sweeping blows.
This is like answering the question, like what would win, like one like cow-sized duck or thousands of duck-sized cows. That's what I feel like we're. Sorry, Nath.
Fails to wound. The talon hits. Wounds.
-2.
And it's -2.
6s. Oh, I've just rolled a 6.
There we go.
So is that me? Legs, 4s, no. 2, 3s, 2 at -1.
1 goes through.
1 damage.
So 1 wound left.
It's 1 wound
Maybe
left.
claw. Hits. 3s. He misses. Sword. 1 hits. 1 at -2.
Yeah, goes through.
3 damage.
Oh, he's dead.
Let's not even do the 3rd tree lord. It's embarrassing at this stage. Oh my god! How many wounds have you got left?
8.
Oh my god! This should be a new section we do at the end of every Monday. Bum fights.
But you know, like, so today on the official War, apparently we need it to finish on the actual Warhammer site, like that hero fight. Maybe we should do that every week. We'll have like a hero and we'll have a knockout every week. So one hero will be on and it'll be winner stays on, and we'll bring in
no. Apparently Owen says we need to finish.
Okay, fine.
I'm into it if you guys are. The 3rd tree lord coming in. Yeah, coming in hard.
So that was your turn, wasn't it? So it's my turn.
Yeah, you
so
shoot,
he can shoot. So, he hits with 4. Wounds with 2. 2 at -1, doing 1 damage.
5s. Both go through. How much damage? Sorry, 1 each.
1 damage each.
5 shrug. No, both go through.
So
that's to 6.
He's going to charge now. Ooh dear. Oh fuck. Oh, dice. Yeah, he's made it. So and now the what they called sweeping blows. So 4 attacks. This is him fully fired up. He rolls 3 2s, so he misses with 3. But he does wound. So 1 at -1.
5s. Goes through.
And does D6 damage. So that is 6. Max.
Oh!
5s. Save 3 of them. So 3 go through. Down to 3 hits.
All right then. Impaling Talon. 4, so it hits. 1 to wound, so fails to wound.
Oh, so close.
I get a super sluggish way of fighting back, so I'm super back.
I think it's priority roll now. That was my turn.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah. That's
priority roll. 6.
I got a 1.
Oh, Nathan, are you going to do it? Is it going to happen?
I'm taking priority.
Go on, Nathan, you got this.
I've taken no wounds, so I'm going to shoot you in the face with my strangle roots. I've dropped the dice on the floor. That is 4 hits.
Oh.
And 3 wounds at -1, doing 1 damage.
Oh,
okay.
My God.
2 have gone through. 5 up shrug. Oh, no. I'm down to 1 health.
Oh, my.
I'm going to use the impaling talon first, just in case it does its thing. Come on, baby. It's a 6!
Oh, my God. I can roll 6 5s. It's okay.
So it does D6 damage.
Oh, hang on then.
D6 mortal wounds. So that is 6 mortal wounds!
Alright, I just need 6 5s.
Go on, Dave.
Someone's telling me that there's no 5+ DBR. We're playing in Ascendants of Chaos or whatever it is. Oh, I rolled 2.
You've killed him, Nath. You've won.
Dead.
There you go.
3 Lords and a Soul Grinder.
They only ever come in a unit of 3 as well, so...
Lord, 180 points
Yeah.
to 210.
So if anyone was wondering, that is the Sylvaneth Battletome review. I'm just going to cut that bit out and upload it as the Sylvaneth Battletome review. It'll be the best.
I want to see 3 Tree Lords versus 3 Gargants next week.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm in. Let's do it. Yeah, 3 Gargants versus 3 Tree... It's basically... Sylvaneth players, there you go. This is what we'll do. We'll put 3 Tree Lords versus other stuff every week. Yeah? In a way of keeping our hopes alive for Tree Lords. Because they did great. They did really... Nate, do you think the Gobbapalooza would beat 3 Tree Lords?
Yeah.
All right, well,
definitely.
well, it's been a pleasure to be a witness to that tectonic fight. And also thank you to both of you for being on the show today.
Well,
Pleasure.
thank you for having us. Thank you for the chance to roll some dice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fired up now.
Nathan's won his 4th game of 2020 there.
Well done, Dave. Big shout out to Bill for coming on the show. It was lovely to have him on the show there. And thank you to everyone who's joined us live. Sorry about the internet a bit today. And if you've listened to the podcast, please stay hydrated. And thank you to everyone on the Scoring Game of Patreon. Genuinely couldn't do it without you. So you guys are phenomenal. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for the 40k adjacent show. You can join us for a super long show on Saturday when we do coverage of the Games Workshop 40k reveal. The weekend after, we'll be doing live coverage of another Tabletop Simulator tournament, if you want to join us for that. So that's a week on Saturday, the 16th, I think. No, that's not right. That's not right. I can't do that on the 16th. I've got someone's birthday. But and then join us every day live. That's it. You guys got any shout-outs or final thoughts you want to do today?
Soul Grinder should have won. No,
Sorry.
yeah, it's been good. Really like that book.
Yeah, same. Me too. Nathan, any thoughts? Any thoughts? How cool would a destruction version of that book be?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like a mixed destruction type book. Yeah, I'm with Bill. I do like the mixed, being able to take the mixed stuff. Like your lists that you do with Sam sometimes. Those are good. And yeah, I'm in for that. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I know a lot of people are against the mixed allegiance stuff, but I think it'd be cool. I think there might be a little bit more balanced. Say if you did a mixed allegiances only tournament, you might find it a bit more balanced than some of the other ones. But there we go.
Oh, interesting thought. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, it would also be cool to see stuff along racial lines. Mixed elves, says K-Dread. Ooh, interesting and saucy. Yeah, that'd be fun. Mixed dwarves, Nath, Fire Slayers with you dispossessed with your Kharadron Overlords.
Yeah, that'd be pretty tasty, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Mixed humans, just all on their own, just being humans. It'd be fun. All right, well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for joining us live. Please do join us every Monday, 7 p.m. It'd be great to listen to you guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys soon, and have a great day. Fuck you, buddies. FUB.